Well, this is definitely not easy. Okay. So, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So this is really our second Sunday in a row that we have started reflecting upon, which is one of our core baniyan, right? Asa Ki Baat is generally sung in the morning because that's how the rag and the timing works 4/6. That is not how rag asa works outside of the Sikh context. So I just want to be clear for those who are interested in rag. I am definitely not someone who is deep into that, but I'm conversant with it enough to tell you. So Asa Ki Baat has largely been understood as in the asa is a rag, which is a measure of music, stipulated within which there's a great amount of freedom and great amount of artists express themselves beautifully. How I'm presenting this to you is this, that it's really about our life. And var is a clash. So there is a clash within our life. And if you think about it, we all go through ups and downs. And this is not reserved for any one community, because we look around the world and we see it's everywhere. So there is a clash of desires that are going on within us. And really, it's a matter of where those desires originate. And where they originate determines where they take us. So this is the clash of desires in all of us. So when we're looking through this, we're going to read the Gurbani, but Gurbani is misinterpreted and misrepresented by people who don't know. When you read something that is written in a poetic verse, poetry seldom means what it says in the words. There is a lot more beneath the surface, and it's for everyone who's listening. And it depends upon how refined we are. I'll just quickly ask a quick question, show of hands. Is English okay for everyone? Is English okay for everyone? Because I want to make sure that everybody's with us. ਜੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਦਿਓ, ਮੈਂ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ ਨਾਲੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਚੱਲੀ ਜਾਈਏ। ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਨਾਲ ਵਰਤਾ ਨਾ ਥੋੜੀ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਹਾਂਜੀ? Yes, ਹਾਂਜੀ, thank you, thank you. So it's misrepresented because people don't understand the context within which it occurs. Now Gurbani, unlike many other scriptures in the world, isn't poetic verse. Most of them are written not in a poetic verse. So it's more of a philosophical thing. What you see is what you get until how deep you can dig within the philosophy. This is not philosophy. There is a philosophical lens which is very deep, but you need to uncover that, and that depends upon the work that you do. And the Gurbani tells us many times that virla ko vicharsi. That is, it's a rare person who engages in vichar. ਬਹੁਤੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ। ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਅਨਾਉਂਸਮੈਂਟ ਵੇਲੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੋਲਿਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮੋਸਟਲੀ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਥੋੜੀ ਦੇਰ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਓਪਨ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੁਝ ਕੁਐਸਚਨਸ ਹੋਣਗੇ, ਉਹ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਵਿਚਾਰ is reduced by most people into like we've accomplished something. Right now, one person is talking, some are listening. This is not an accomplishment. You will take something with you. What goes on between here and here, that will be vichar. And I cannot change your mind. No one can change anybody's mind. You change your mind based upon whether you are convinced and you are aligned internally. That's a human condition. It does not belong to any community. ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਮਨ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ। ਸਾਰੇ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਆ, ਆਪਣੇ ਮਨ ਮੁਤਾਬਕ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। If that were not true, Guru Nanak's children would have been on his path. Right? We all put Guru Nanak Sahib high, highest. His children did not walk his path. So if we're going to talk about just the Gurbani having magical attributes, it does not. There's no magic. The magic can happen within you, but you are the one who is going to engage in the vichar, and you will choose what you choose based upon the clash of desires that is going on inside of you. So we're going to start moving forward. We'll cover a little bit of what we did last week and move along. The first thing to understand is that when we talk about any var in Gurbani, and again, var generally connotes a clash of ideas or whatever the context might be. So Asa ki var, as written, was written by Guru Nanak Sahib, and it's written by Paurhi only. Paurhi means a step. It's a step that is taking us somewhere. It has 24 steps. That was the original composition, it's 24, and this is how it goes. It's one pauri to the other, and last time we talked about the essence of where it's taking us is in the pauri. Tat jehdi hegi hai var di, oh pauriyan vich hai. The shlok are preceding each pauri. Those were added by Panjveं Pasha, by Guru Arjan. That was done so the meaning can get deeper and we can relate to it in life, because the shlok talk about a lot of what we deal with in the world. The pauri is not. The pauri is at a much deeper level. So this talks about api ne aap sajyo, api ne rachyo now. Dui kudrat saji hai, kare asan ditho chao. Data karta aap tum, tus deva kare pasao. Tu janoi sab se. De lesson, jind kawao, kare asan ditho chao. So there are a couple of words here which should be understood, and some of us who have maybe linguistic background that matches, do some of the words kind of start making sense to you, even if you don't know the Gurmukhi script, because the languages within Gurbani are very syncretic. And this is not Punjabi. The language that is written here is not Punjabi, it is not Marathi, and there are verses from someone who lived in Maharashtra. These words are from many different sources, but as I said, they're in poetic verse, so they mean something much deeper. So the Gurmukhi is not just a script. Gurmukhi is also a context. Gurmukhi, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਨਾ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬਾਣੀ ਹੈ ਪੋਥੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਇਹ ਥਾਲ ਆ ਥਾਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਿੰਨ ਵਸਤੂ ਪਈਓ ਸਤ ਸੰਤੋਖ ਵਿਚਾਰੋ ਇਹ ਥਾਲ ਗਿਆਨ ਦੀ ਹੈ ਗਿਆਨ ਅੰਤਰੀਵ ਹੈ. This is about gyan, wisdom, which is internal. It is not about the outside. So there, people try to project cosmology, right? I'm somebody who was inspired by science and cosmology, so I can tell you it's not cosmology. But people try to project those things. There are big questions here. Api ne aap sajyo. There is a word sajana, and there is a word rachana. The second line says, api ne rachyo now. So this is a pretty interesting thing. In Gurbani, sajana and sirjana are words about the one. There is only one. We sit here and we think there's different people sitting. So there's many of us. But there isn't. There is only one. It's one. And the Gurbani starts with, here, the sirlekh of every rag within Gurbani. And every major topic and every topic change. How do you know? Because this will come in different forms. That's how we know that the topic has changed. So if you don't understand a Shabad, don't try to understand it from within that context. Move back. Use the numbering system to move back. And when you get to one, generally, this you will find in full form or a truncated form. Gurbani tanu das dindi hai ਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ ਗੱਲ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰਹਾਉ ਦੀ ਤੁਕ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਦੇਗੀ ਕਿ ਗੱਲ ਹੋ ਕਾਹਦੀ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ. ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਰਹੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ 50th 60th ਸ਼ਬਦ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਲੜੀ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਐਂਡ ਲੋਕੀ ਇੱਕਦਮ ਮੀਨਿੰਗ ਦੱਸਣੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਾਂ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕਮਾਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੈ. I cannot do that because I have to question my own understanding. So I go back to context ਕਿੱਥੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਇਆ ਉੱਥੇ ਸਮਝਾਂ ਕਿ ਗੱਲ ਹੋ ਕੀ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ and then I will know that there is a progression. And the 50th Shabad that I might be claiming to understand might have a whole different context. So it's work. Now, this says there is only one. Ik, oankar. Ik is a number, not a concept. There is only one that manifested itself. ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਰੂਪ ਕੀਤਾ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਹੁਣ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ 'ਚ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਏਕੰਕਾਰ ਵੀ। ਏਕੰਕਾਰ ਐਂਡ ਓੰਕਾਰ are distinguished. ਓੰਕਾਰ is the ਸਰੂਪ that is manifest, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਉਹ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਹੈ। ਪਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਦ ਸੱਚ, ਜੁਗ ਆਦ ਸੱਚ, ਆਦ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕੀ ਸੀ? What was before Anad? Before Ad, it was Anad. You see, that's the nirgun. Ad ਜਦੋਂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਕੁਝ ਗੁਣ ਆ ਗਿਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਉਹਦਾ ਕੁਝ ਫਾਰਮ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦਾ ਰੂਪ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦਾ ਰੇਖ ਹੈ। ਜਦੋਂ ਫਾਰਮ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਇਆ, ਪਰ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਰੂਪ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਰੇਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਰੰਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। So we try to project an identity upon the one, and there is no identity of the one. Because everything we see is because we are within a structure. We see things, we feel things, we touch and we smell. All of our world is created from understandings and philosophies based upon these relations and whatever we struggle with. That one, there is nothing else. So there is nothing to relate with. It's not a relative game. So there is nothing we can say that relates to that except certain fundamental things that come out of it, which are that is the process that is continuing, which is Sat. And it's Naam. The one manifests itself via Naam, which is Udi Hond da pratik. Usdi Hond da pratik, Sadi Hond da pratik hai. Who I am being in the world as I live is based upon all the things that are going inside of me. And my struggles are born from that, because that is who I am being. And that, how did that come about? That's kind of what the Gurbani is telling us. But that's how it projects itself. And this is a creative activity. Karta Purakh. This is a creative aspect. Who created it? There is only one. There is no other. ਦੂਜਾ ਤੇ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੈ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ। ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ 1000 ਵਾਰ ਦੱਸਦੀ ਹੈ। So ਉਹ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਹੈ। Again, this is not a philosophy. Think of it as a mathematical statement of fact, of truth. Nirpao. Pao is to be under compulsion from outside. When you have no other, is there going to be any compulsion? Who's going to make you do something? There is nothing. This is a statement of fact of the one, is that there is no compulsion from outside. And then there is no other, no var. I am not under threat. Reflect within yourself. Is that how we live our life? All the stuff that is happening in the world, from your life to within your family unit, to within the macroeconomic political unit, the world, the great powers, lesser powers, colonial powers, empires, all of this. All of that is happening. It's because var, or enmity, or being heavy and taking upon oppressing others and gathering what you can, resources. Because why? Because resources are finite. That's what everybody tells us, right? The resources are finite, so I must get more from you. I must put you down to get. That's the other. It's all about the other. And this is telling us it's nirvad. There is no enmity. There is no var. Var is also not just enmity, because most of us don't walk around feeling like people are enemies. But we still have things that keep a wall between each of us. What is that separation? That's enmity. And Gurbani tells us, na ko bari nahi beganna. There is no bari, and there is no stranger. Beganna. Sagal, which is everything. Sang, hamko banayai. Everything I see that it is connected to me. Banayai. Like, it may not have been that way for me, but it is clear, evident right now that I see it. So that is nirvad. And this is all happening because the one is in a state of akal murti. Akal, we talked about it last time, is generally taken as the negation of kal. Kal is time. What is time? That we die. Time. So negation of time. Or kal is also death. Right? So what would akal be? The not death or not time. Because that's the state of the one. consider that it is about being present. Being present is to be akal. Because where do we live most of the time? We want to live in our past. If it's terrible, then we lament the past. We have anxieties about the past. If it's amazing, then what do we say? Golden times, olden time, golden times. Make America great again. Is it not great now? It raises a lot of questions. Why would you want to go back to something? Was it great? For whom was it great? Was it great for everyone? Does everybody want to go back? Do the women want to go back? Do people who didn't have a chance to be at a level field want to go back? Make it great for whom? This is not about anyone else. This is really about, these are the questions that we need to think about. Like when we think about our lives, we are living in the past or we're living in the future. Because we are projecting ourselves and we want to be somewhere. So we want to be there. Is it not loud enough? Thank you. That's Akal Murti, Ajuni. Ajuni is to not be caught up in cycles. June is not just about some idea about that people are in different species in a cycle. This is about the cycle that I live in. In one life, in one day, I live many lives. I may be a loving person. I may be like a snake hoarding what I think is dear. I'm living many lives. I'm living like an animal. Gurbani talks about that as well. Again, this poetic verse. For what I'm going to get out of it is how I live, who I am being is important. So this is ajuni. This is free from that because the one is not in that. In fact, the one took form so it could experience. That's what the first step is telling us. Apine aap sajyo, apine rachiyo now through being. It experiences. The it is the this. This I call he, she, they, whatever. That's not important. It's the one playing the game in all forms. Apine aap sajyo. And that is manifested itself because nobody can make it manifest. That's sa pang. What does that tell us? That also tells us that I am not the product of what my parents made me, what my genetics made me, because life is about being. Life is not about how tall I am. That's about genetics. I can't change that at a whim, but who I am being is important because I could be a very small person. Just because I am whatever height I am does not make me small or big. It's who I am being that makes me and my worth small or big. As in, does it connect me to everything around me? If it does, it doesn't matter if I were 2 feet tall, I'm huge. Otherwise, I could be big, wield a lot of power in the world, and all I do is project my insecurities. Jinni bhi vakti power hove mere vich, mere piche faujaं lagiyan hon, मैं दुनिया ते हावी होई जावां पर ਉਹ ਕੀ ਦਿਖਾਉਂਦਾ ਉਹ ਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿਖਾਉਂਦਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਮੈਂ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦਾ ਰਾਜਾ ਮੰਨੀ ਬੈਠਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਛੋਟਾ ਹੀ ਹਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਇਨਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਜਿਹਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਹਰ ਵੇਲੇ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਤੇ ਹਾਵੀ ਹੋਣਾ ਜਸਟੀਫਾਈ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਅੰਡਰ ਥ੍ਰੈਟ ਨਾ ਹੋਵਾਂ ਇਹ ਸਹਿ ਭੰਗ ਹੋਣ ਦਾ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ this from ik to ਸਹਿ ਭੰਗ is a way of being ਇਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਆ ਜੇ that changes the way I am being ਉਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਹੋਂਦ ਨੂੰ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰਦਾ ਉਹ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਹੈ ਮਤਲਬ ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਐਵੇਂ ਜੀਵਾਂਗਾ to live that way is the gur and that gives us a fruit that gives us a product that's the prasad so this is what in very short this is called the mool the essence this is what tells us so now everything we discuss in Gurbani is based from that so anytime I try to interpret this and I mean I is you all are I for each of you when you interpret Gurbani and try to project your own thoughts and your own preferences upon it this is a way to discern कि मैं गल गुर दी कर रहा कि मैं गल अपनी कर रहा ये पता ये टेस्ट है साडे सारिਆਂ ਲਈ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦਾ ਸਮਝੇ ਕਿ ਬੁਲਾਰਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ If it doesn't fit this, it fails. That's our test. So we're going to work forward from there. So what this tells us now is balihari gur apne diohari sadwar jini manas te devte kiye karte na lagi var. Balharana, it is to lose the sense of stubbornness that I have in my man. Bal is strength, harana is to lose. Simple word. It's a compound word, right? Maybe not that simple. But what it means is to lose my strength. Who in this world would like to lose their strength? Somebody without strength, what are they called? Weak. Who would like to be weak? None of us, in the way that we have been raised, in a world of me and you, where somebody else can take something from me. This is what we've been told, right? You got to be stronger. You got to stand up for yourself, which is not wrong. This is not to say that's not wrong. My point is that it is out of duality. It is a sense of me and an other. And I need to save this. That's the whole thing about life. And why? We are not wrong in that. Because it's biology. Biology compels me to protect life. Because this life needs to live. That's an imperative, a biological imperative. Why do we have children? Right? It is to continue the process. So, balhari gur apne. So then the question is, if I am to lose this sense of strength, which is not really about the body, it's about the internal. So what is this bal that I need to lose? And it says to the gur. And as we talked about, the gur is the way to be, the way to live. Jeen da tang, jeevan jaanch, oh gurya. Diohari is din or raat. All the time, sadwar, all the time, every day, day and night. Sounds exhausting, doesn't it? But you know what happens when we don't? The life, the way the world is, that's what happens. Because unless I'm here, life is going to stink. Because it does. None of us is making it up. We just have to tell the truth, right? We look around, there's conflict. So, Diohari Sadvar, daily, all the time, day and night. What does that mean? That I need to be present to this wisdom all the time, is to let go of my stubbornness for the good, the wisdom. Jinni, why? Because that wisdom is manas. Manas is the product of my thought processes, but my thought processes are based in duality. So manas is the product. This is just taken by most interpreters like from men to angels. That doesn't tell me anything. If I am a man, what is an angel? It says it turns you from men to angels. But because it's not about men, because what about women? This is manas. Manas has to do with man. Jini manas te devte kiye. And in order to do that, karte na lagivar. It does not take time. This is not something that has to take years. It does not have to take decades. It does not have to take a life. And if you believe in reincarnation, it does not have to take lifetimes. I've heard that from people, that it takes lifetimes. It takes a life. You know what that means to me? When somebody doesn't want to engage in something, they always want to push it out. It can take forever. This is such a difficult thing. Yes, it's difficult because I'm conditioned. And in order for me to be deconditioned, मेरी programming होई पई है, मेरे मापियां ने, मेरे परिवार ने, मेरे culture ने, जिसनों ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਧਰਮ, ਉਹ ਧਰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ। ਧਾਰਮਿਕ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਿਖਾਤਾ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕੁਝ ਵਾੜਦਾ ਅੰਦਰ ਦ્વੈਤ ਭਾਵਨਾ। ਹੁਣ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੱਢਣਾ ਬਾਹਰ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਜੀ ਸਕਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਹੋ ਕੇ, ਔਖਾ ਤਾਂ ਲੱਗੂਗਾ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਦੇ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕੁਝ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਹੈ। But here's the good news. There isn't a whole lot to change. It's not about what you change, because change does not last. Have we thought about it? Diets? Anybody? Does not last. And in order to be in good shape, in order to be healthy, forget about everything else. What's necessary? Discipline for what? Discipline, lifestyle, exactly. But for what? What do you have to do in order to be in decent shape and not unhealthy?
Make choices, right choices.
What kind of choices? I'm asking you for the choices. Very simple. Healthy habits, as in like eat less and move a little bit. Exercise. That's it. Who does not know that? Everyone knows that. And yet we are living in a country that eats more and has more problems because of what we are putting in our system than anyone else. And then we spend more money than everyone else in medication and in medical costs. Everyone knows. Just eat less and move around. That's it. 2 things. It's not complicated. And I'm not pointing a finger at anybody, my goodness. I'm not. Right? But why it doesn't change stick? Because it's not about change. This is about a switch. Where am I coming from? It's my source. So why am I eating more? Why am I not exercising? What is keeping me? And those were some of the questions that we asked last time for everyone to come and reflect. But we have new people, so I'm going to save that. And hopefully some people have reflected upon that. So internally, instantly, Manas, coming from the Man to Devte, which is to be transcendent. What is a Devta? What is the idea that we have of angels? Regardless of which tradition you come from, that they are up on high. There's a heaven, they live up there, or there are people who are living, and what does that really tell you? Doesn't matter if there's a heaven, doesn't matter any of that. What matters is that they are living higher. Higher than what? The base prison. ਜਿਹੜਾ body ਦਾ prison ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਮੈਂ ਬੰਦ ਹਾਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਬੰਦ ਹਾਂ ਉਹ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਉੱਚਾ ਜੀ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਦੇਵਤੇ ਨੇ nothing else happens. It's not like I grow another head because I'm a devta or wings will pop out. Wings are to show that I'm flying. Nobody flies, but internally I can fly. Don't you feel sometimes like internally you can fly? Because you are attached to something more profound than normal life. So you can fly. Right? It takes you high. So, kartana lagi var. So, ragasa is about courage to deal with my desires. It's about my desires. So here are some questions for us to reflect upon. What are my desires? To what am I committed? And again, what purpose am I serving? These are all questions about me. These are not about, we don't need to go home and ask our brother and sister and wife or husband, what is your purpose? This is my purpose. What purpose am I serving? What are my commitments in life? And what are my desires? These are all connected. Because what I serve has to do with what my desires are. And what in turn does that? It's about my purpose. Why do I even exist? Who am I is a more fundamental question. Who am I? And if I think that I am, I'll go off, a man, I am a Sikh, I am South Asian, or even worse yet, I'm going to say, I am an American, or an Indian, or an Argentinian. All false boundaries, labels attached to my identity. Everything that separates us. Who am I? Am I not beside the body? The body does what it does. Body has wants, body has needs. That's why I feed it, that's why I do things. In fact, most of my life is about my desires from the body. What about my inner core? When will that come to play? मेरी अंदर दी जिहड़ी भुख आ उसदी पूर्ति मैं कदों करांगा ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਦੋਂ ਸੋਚਾਂਗਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਦਮ ਕਦੋਂ ਪੱਟਣੇ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੈਰ ਕਦੋਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਵਧਣਗੇ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਸੋਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਕੌਣ ਮੈਂ ਕਰ ਕੀ ਰਿਹਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਕਾਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਮੇਰੀ ਕਮਿਟਮੈਂਟ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਮੇਰਾ ਧਰਮ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਧਰਮ ਮੇਰਾ ਪਰਪਸ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਐਂਡ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਸ ਨੇ ਸੋ the next shlok Now you see, this is, and we have not gotten to the part which is telling us about the structure of the universe, which is api ne aap sajyo, api ne rachyo. Now, this is a way for us to deal with in life. Mehla duja. This is Gur Angad telling us, Je saw chanda ugbeh. Chanda is a moon, right? Suraj chadai hazar. Suraj is a star, and there are billions. This says, it's giving math, right? Saw chanda. Hazar Suraj. It's a lot of light. I can go into like what a moon is and all that, but let me not. These are rising. There's a lot of light. Itte chanan hundeyan, all this light. Gur bin kohor andhar. All this light and gur to bina, without the gur, without the way, I am in complete darkness. Kohor andhar. Andhar is darkness. Kohor andhar is the absence of light. It's scary, dark. That's what this says in the first part. So what kind of light are we talking about? That it's scary dark. And there's a lot of light.
Light where we are connected with that Almighty.
Yes.
That connection is light.
But what is all this light? Because there's a lot of light.
Outside, that is external.
Yes. So can you speak more to that? What is this external light? That even with all this light, I'm still in the dark.
Attractions, materials, attachments.
Beautiful. So, Swati ji mentioned three things: attachments, material, and attractions. What are desires? Desires are certain feelings that I have. अपने अंदर आस है, भुख है, कादे लिए, जेड़ी चीज़ दी अट्रैक्शन है, अपने तो बाहर है. I want that because I feel I don't have that. Imagine this level of ignorance that we are living our life. I am a part of it all, and I feel that I am missing something. The one is within me. The one is outside of me. There is nowhere the one is not. And I feel कि कुछ घाट है, something's missing. इनु और एक और word है avidya. It is to be ignorant. Imagine the level of utter stupidity that we are living our lives in. And I run after things because I think something will be missing. I spend my time hoarding things because I think there won't be enough when I need it. And this imperative is a biological imperative. It is coming from 1,000,000 years in the past, when we would find a tree and we would find fruit and we would eat as much as we possibly could. Why? Because they did not know कि अगला दरख्त कदों लगूगा. When will I find the next tree? But for people who don't have to go looking for trees, our pantries are full. We've got all kind of processed foods. They'll never die, right? It's not food that'll spoil. It's actually not food that will never spoil. And we have it. So this is our limitations of our intellect and our knowledge. We are taking all of this from the outside and we are then taking it as reality, and then we live based upon that reality. All this knowledge, and there is more knowledge now than there has ever been in the history of humanity. It's literally in this phone. There is more processing power here than that little capsule that was flown with men inside of it to the moon. Many times more powerful. Everything is right here. Yet, what we don't have, we actually have Gurbani here as well. We have many interpretations in here as well. But yet, we are not able to find how to live. जीण दी जाच नहीं है, सब कुछ है. क्यों? क्योंकि जाच, the way to be, We are the filter. It doesn't matter if there's stuff here. Just like eat less and exercise. So simple. But it doesn't happen. And we need a whole industry to tell us, make me do something that I don't want to. Yes.
I was just writing illusion. How do you say illusion in Punjabi?
One word is mithya. Mithya? Mithya. M-I-T-H-I-A or Y-A. Mithya is illusion. There's other words. ਜੇ ਹੋਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਮਨ 'ਚ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੋਏ ਤਾਂ ਦੱਸੋ, please. Maya also is an illusion in the sense that Maya are like glasses. Reality is. Each of us have a different version of reality because we are looking through a lens, a paradigm, a worldview. And the world is different for all of us. Because right now, this could be the most blissful place in the world, and someone in here could be living in hell. Because they may not even be present. How does that happen? Because we're each living in our own world. It's not one world, it's many worlds. And I don't mean the many worlds interpretation, which is a whole different thing. If anybody would like to look into that as well, because that complicates things a bit more. But it doesn't have to be complicated. So it's really about ignorance of what matters. ਗਿਆਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਇੰਨੀ ਲਾਈਟ ਇੰਨੇ ਚਾਨਣ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਵੀ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਗਿਆਨ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨੰਨੇ ਨੂੰ ਔਂਕੜ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਦੂਜਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਔਂਕੜ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਪਲੂਰਲ। ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਗਿਆਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੇ ਬੜੇ ਗਿਆਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫਰਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਇਹ ਉਹੀ ਫਰਕ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। So in Gurbani, a lot of this has to do with the way that it's been written down. There are ways to untangle the mystery, but one has to be diligent. There is a gyan, the word gyan has a nanna at the end, and when it's singular, it's talking about something valuable, and when it's not singular, when it's plural, it's talking about everything out there, all types, physics, all my DIY projects, that's gyan. Just like there are many guru, but Gurbani talks about there are many guru, and then there is Satguru. There is Shabad Guru. All of these have different meanings, very specific meanings. ਤੇ ਉਹ ਸਮਝਣੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਨੇ, ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਆਉਗੀ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਹੈ। ਜੀਣ ਦਾ ਢੰਗ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ, because I have 10 different interpretations and I'm trying to reconcile and live by them. So each of us have to, the burden is on us. So that's the bad news and the good news. You can't blame anybody else. The burden is on you. Everything that I'm saying, you're not listening to what I'm saying. I can say that confidently because every one of you have a filter. You're listening through a filter. It's your job to recognize what your filter is, to be able to understand that when you are with anybody in the world, are you really even getting what they're saying? Because you are here with your own set of challenges, internal. That's not something small. You're dealing with a lot. All of us are. Why? Because the man is a very powerful thing. It makes up a lot of things. मेरी जीण ਦਾ ਢੰਗ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਮੇਰੀ ਜੀਵਨੀ ਨੂੰ, ਮੇਰੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਲਾਈਫ ਦਾ, ਉਹਦੀ ਤੱਤ ਕੀ ਨਿਕਲ ਰਿਹਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਗਰੋਥ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ, ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਲੁਕ ਕੇ ਬੈਠਾ, ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਮੇਰੇ ਮਨ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ। ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਮਨ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੁਣ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਕਿ ਗੱਲ ਹੋ ਕੀ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਹੀ ਚੱਲੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ। If somebody says something, I'm thinking about what my response will be. I'm thinking about how would I rebut this? I agree, I disagree. That's what the man does. Sunda nahi. And jab Bani talks, takes 4 paudhiyan, 4 steps to talk about sunay. And then more on manne. And this is a question we'll come to another day. Is sunna ki hai? Te manna ki hai? I've asked a lot of people. And there's a rare person who knows. But that's the first Bani. Ki sunna hai? Te ki manna hai? Nahi pata logon. ਵਿਚਾਰਵਾਨ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਬੋਲੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ। ਇੱਥੇ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ, ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ। ਸੁਣਨਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਮੰਨਣਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਨਹੀਂ ਕਲੀਅਰ, ਉਹ ਬੜਾ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਈਏ ਹੁਣ। ਜੇ 100 ਚੰਦਾ ਉਗਵੈ ਸੂਰਜ ਚੜ੍ਹੈ ਹਜ਼ਾਰ, ਇੱਥੇ ਚਾਨਣ ਹੁੰਦਿਆਂ ਗੁਰ ਬਿਨ ਘੋਰ ਅੰਧਾਰ। We've already gone through all this कि enlighten होना किस चीज़ बारे है, about what? नानक गुरु ना चेतनी मन अपना सुचेत। This is very important कि असी अपने आप नू बहुत सुचेत मन्निया होया। I have accepted that I am very sharp and I can discern everything, and that is why I actually don't get wisdom. Is because the entire time I am judging the person who's there with me. I am judging the wisdom that is coming. I am the filter. My man is the filter. My experiences, my preferences, my desires are the filter. Nanak, Guru na chetni, mani apna suchet. And what is that like? Chutte til boar syon, sunye andar khet. Now this is a metaphor for us to understand that there are people who tend to crops, farmers. There's a lot of produce. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਕੁਝ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਛੱਡੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ। ਛੁੱਟੇ ਤਿਲ ਬੁਆੜ ਜਿਉਂ, ਸੁੰਨੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਖੇਤ। ਖੇਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਈ ਛੱਡ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਕਿਉਂ? ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਸੋਚਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਹੈ। why are some left and not the others? ਖੇਤਾਂ ਅੰਦਰ ਛੁੱਟਿਆ ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੋ ਨਾ, describing them ਫਲੀਏ ਫੁੱਲੀਏ ਬੱਪੜੇ। ਕਈ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੇਖਣ ਨੂੰ, when I look at them they look good. ਫਲੀਏ fruitful, ਫੁੱਲੀਏ big, grown. If I were to go into, by the way, that field of crops, I wouldn't know the difference because I'm not a farmer. So this has to be thought about in terms of what is useful for someone who would know the difference. Phaliye phaliye papde pੀਤਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਵਾ। ਮਤਲਬ ਐਡੀ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਪਰਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਲੱਗੇਗਾ ਤੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਹੀ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਪਰਖ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਵਾਦ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੱਟਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ, ਉਹ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਰਹਿਣ ਦਿਓ, ਬਾਅਦ 'ਚ ਸਾੜਿਆ ਜਾਊਗਾ। So what's the difference? It's a huge difference, especially for people. If we project our self-worth, or as a community, as a nation, on how we look, if we think that a Sikh is one who does this, wears this, then we are projecting things based upon appearances. And this is saying that in that crop, there are things that are left. They look good, they look fruitful, but actually they're full of swa, which is ashes. There's nothing in there. There's no life-giving things in there. It's not going to grow. It's not going to feed anything. Pītan vich swa. So when we look at ourselves, that's a way to be able to discern the truth. Is what kind of purpose-filled life am I living? मैं तेरा मुताबिक जी रहा कि मैं एक फलिए फुलिए बपड़े वांगू हाँ, अंदरों स्वा ही है। Swa ki hai. It's not going to project life. I don't know how to grow, and I can't help anyone grow. And each of us have families. We have children. It's our responsibility कि भी आप nu enlighten hona. And how? Through the gur, the way to be. So these ones are left over. And why is it happening? It's happening because I think I'm too sharp. I think I'm too smart. But what I am is I am cunning. But there are so many possibilities, endless possibilities to be. It's because of my attachment to appearances that I lose the quality of life. I don't get what the real quality of life is. So I'll take a very personal example. I didn't always look like this. There was a point in life that I chose it. Why? Because I can never hide. So for me, this was about responsibility. I can never hide. And forget about in Punjab, where there are millions of people, many of whom look like this. But I chose to be out in the world, where there's going to be even less people who look like this. That means I stand out even more over there. So for me, that was a level of responsibility. ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਗੁਰ ਨੇ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੇਰੀ responsibility ਇੱਥੇ ਸੀਗੀ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਚਾੜਦਾ. That was, for me, a reason is that for me to be constantly present. Akal Murat. I cannot be in my thoughts. Back in the Put, Kal, which is a past, या ਭਵਿੱਖ. ਉੱਥੇ ਨਾ ਜਿੰਦਾ ਰਵਾਂ, ਮੈਂ ਜੀਣਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦਿਆਂ ਕਿ ਜੀਵਨ ਚੱਲ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਰਿਹਾ, ਦੁਨੀਆ 'ਚ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ, ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਇੰਗੇਜ ਕਰ ਪਾ ਰਿਹਾ. Am I able to exchange and have a productive, fruitful, vibrant, growing relationship or not? ਪਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਸੱਚ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ, ਸੱਚ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ, ਸੱਚ ਸੁਣਨਾ ਪਏਗਾ. So the papade are the ones that are aflame inside. That's why it's ashes. It's burnt to ashes because they're burning. Burning from what? That's what we talked about. It's desires. It's the asa kivar. We are burnt because of our desires. Now, yes. Yeah. We're not going to the party yet. What I want to put forth, this is very important, and we'll end it with this slide and the next. Why did I put this up here? And I'm going to give credit and also ask Simran Kaur. There was a conversation we had, and this is in response to the conversation some time back, a couple of weeks ago, on how do I get what the Guru wants to enlighten me on. I don't want to tell you what I think about it. I'm actually showing you what Gurbani says about it. And it's instructive. It says, and if you have, anybody have their phones with them, pull it up. Joe khasam hai jaya. Poot baap khilaya. Pull that up. Okay. No, actually, Harpreet Kaur, tell her. Okay, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸੋ. ਬਿਨ ਸ਼ਰਵਣਾ ਖੀਰ ਪਿਲਾਇਆ. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਨੇ, ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵਾਕਿਫ ਨੇ, ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਪੁੱਛਦਾ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮਤਲਬ ਪਤਾ ਇਹਦਾ ਕੀ ਲਿਖਿਆ? ਜੋਏ ਖਸਮ ਹੈ ਜਾਇਆ, ਪੂਤ ਬਾਪ ਖਿਲਾਇਆ, ਬਿਨ ਸ਼ਰਵਣਾ ਖੀਰ ਪਿਲਾਇਆ. Let's take a few minutes. It's okay because it'll be worth it. Go ahead. Do you guys have an app that you can pull it up?
I'm just on ChatGPT.
Okay, that's fine. Actually, the point of it is, and I hope somebody can pull it up, because I read a translation or interpretation, whoever is put up. You found it? Okay, what does the translation/interpretation say?
The wife gives birth to her husband.
Okay, the wife gives birth to her husband. Okay.
The son leaves his father in play.
The son leads the father in play.
Without breasts, the mother nurses her baby.
Okay, without breasts, the mother nurses her baby. Why did I show you this? Because we talked a few days ago that ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਗਾਉਂਦਾ, ਭਾਵੇਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਸਮਝ ਆਏ ਨਾ ਆਏ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਉਹਦਾ ਮੀਨਿੰਗ ਚਲਾ ਜਾਏਗਾ। ਇਹਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਈ ਸੀ, ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ whether or not we understand what the essence of Gurbani is, that we can get some of the essence. So now my challenge and Gurbani's challenge is, that is right there in front of you. Let's bring the most masterful Ragi in the world who sings these lines to us. Are you going to get what the essence is? I just told you the words. You read an interpretation. Can you tell me what the meaning is? How is it going to change your life?
Well, it's like topsy-turvy.
It's topsy-turvy. So my question, and the Gurbani's challenge to everyone is that do not fool yourself that the music will do something. The music will not. You could already be in a space when you feel something that connects you. But believe me, when you're upset, then you also justify the space. ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਔਖੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਤੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਨੂੰ ਸਹੀ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਹਾਂ? ਜਿਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਔਖੇ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਔਖਾ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਹੋ ਨਾ। ਇੱਥੇ ਕੋਈ ਵੱਖਰਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੈਠਿਆ ਨਾ। ਸੋ ਮੇਰਾ ਕਹਿਣ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਚੱਲੀ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਇੰਨਾ ਇਤਬਾਰ ਨਾ ਕਰੋ। Whatever is going on inside of you, don't put so much trust in it, because there is so much light. There is 100 suns, 1,000 suns, and hundreds of moons, and there's utter darkness. That's what Gurbani is telling us. Yes. And actually that's something to reflect upon. On the way here, I was thinking about the Gurbani, Pelli Paurhi of Asa Ki War, and this came up for me. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It's an Ashtapadi. But what this talks about is Muqam. Muqam kari baisana, nit chalna ki tokh. Muqam is a destination, a place to be, a place where you will finally have rest, because you're no longer wandering around. ਇੱਧਰ ਉੱਧਰ ਭੱਜਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਏ, ਕਿਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਥਾਂ ਮਿਲ ਗਈ ਆ ਸੁੱਖ ਲਈ। That's a muqam, destination. So muqam ਤਾਂ ਪਰ ਜਾਣੀ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਰਹਿ ਨੇਹ ਚੱਲ ਲੋਕ. The lok are the people of the world. We are not ਨੇਹ ਚੱਲ, ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਚੱਲੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਭੱਜੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਕਦੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਕਦੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ। So this is talking about ਘਰੀ ਬੈਸਣਾ, ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਠਣਾ. That's our muqam. ਪਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਧੋਖਾ ਹੈ. We have a misunderstanding, and we are lost, and we're running around. And the darhao is dunya kaisi muqamme, kaisi muqamme, kari sidak karni kharch bandho, lage raho name. There is only one thing that'll get me across this world, this life. It's what I take with me. When you go on a journey, you pack up some food. We just got back from a journey. We had some food that we like, that we knew on the way is going to be there for us. And Gurbani asks us this over and over again, that do we have what we need? We have what we want, but do we have what we need? This whole problem is the clash of wants, the clash of desires. Do we have what we need? And this is what this is asking. Dunya. And in our common parlance, our vernacular, we call this dunya. Everybody knows, right? Dunya. Sansar. In Gurbani, neither of those are positive. Those are not fulfilling. Dunya, kaisi muqamme. I don't find a place to rest. I don't find a place of peace. I don't have a destination. I'm just running around all the time. Because I'm not living with faith. Kari sidak. It is to be committed to something. That has to do with purpose. That's what we were talking about earlier. Kari sidak. Karni kharch bandho. Karni, my doings are the kharch that I take with me. Bandho, band ke le janna. That's what I take with me. That is my sustenance through life. It comes out of my siddiq, my purposeful my faithful commitment and earnings that are aligned with it. Karni is doings. We are all so very concerned with our doings. Everybody tells you, do this, don't do that. And if you do these 52 times, you'll get that. That was kind of a joke. I guess you haven't done a lot of things 22 or 52 times. You don't come maybe laying down 15 times because you promised the guru, whatever you want, you'll get. So I'll do this many times. We want to play games. You can't buy me with that. You're not going to buy the universal wisdom with that. So, kari siddhak, karani kharch banda, lag raho name. Lage rehna hai naam de naal. Naam is the being, is the naam, sat, naam, karta purakh. Naam de naal lage rehna hai. And gal udi ho rahi hai. Yes.
Just for me, because I'm always trying to understand like little differences. So here it's what is the difference?
Yeah, this is naam dena. Lag raho name. Actually, it's connoting the same meaning that name would have done on its own. But it's in the structure of the way that it's put. Is dunya kaise muqam mein. So it rhymes, right? So a word doesn't have to, it's naam. But name is naam de naal lage rehna. Lag raho name. Lag is lage gagge nu siari hai. That's a lage rehna. Naam de naal. With naam. The meaning does not change.
But is it like
every time you have to learn now, the one, especially what you mean by name?
yeah, it's like not a conjugation, but like I don't find the words. Another like variation.
Yeah, it's a variation. Name is a variation on naam. The meaning of it does not change. It's within the context of how it is put together. And over here it says lage raho name. La lage raho name. Name is naam de naal, with naam. Actually, it means the same thing as lage raho. It is to be committed and living according to name. Name is naam. And what is naam? Naam is the essential way of being. What? Integrated one.
Yeah, I mean, I understand now. It's just for me to understand, like, okay, they'll have this lava or
Yes.
why, and also this is poetry, so
Yes.
context.
There are words in Gurbani that are not used outside of Gurbani in the world. There are words that Gur Sahib has made up. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that because all words are made up. We give meanings to words. And then there's a convention, right? So we'll come back and we'll go over the Paurhi. But this was the thing that I wanted to end on, is that each of us should not give too much credence and faith into our own thought processes. Because if you have struggles in life, guess what? You had all these processes inside. So you're here with all this. Yeah. So ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਟਰਗਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਉਹੀ ਮਨ ਨਾਲ ਹੈ. ਜੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਮੰਨਣੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਇਹੀ ਮਿਲੂ. ਜੇ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਜੇ ਸੁੱਖ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜੁੜਨਾ ਪਏਗਾ ਗਿਆਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਦਾ ਗਿਆਨ ਹੈ. ਇਹ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਆਸਾਂ ਦੀ ਹੈ. ਸੋ ਆਸ ਗਿਆਨ ਦੀ, ਸੁੱਖ ਦੀ ਰੱਖਾਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਜੁੜਨਾ ਪਏਗਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ. ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਜੀਣ ਦਾ ਢੰਗ, ਜੀਵਨ ਜਾਚ ਜਦੋਂ ਆ ਜਾਏਗੀ, ਫਿਰ ਸੁੱਖ ਪ੍ਰਗਟ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ. ਉਹ ਕਿਤੇ ਲੱਭੇਗਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਹੋਏਗਾ. Yes, difficult to control your mind. Yes, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. Actually, well, no, you don't need to struggle, but you can struggle. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਸਟਰਗਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਉਨਾ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ. ਸਾਰੇ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਆ ਪਰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਸਟਰਗਲ ਕਰਨਾ. ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਮੰਨ ਲਾਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਸਟਰਗਲ ਬੰਦ ਹੋ ਜੂਗੀ. ਨਹੀਂ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ?
ਥੋੜੀ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਬੰਦ ਕਰੇ
ਸੋਚਣਾ ਬੰਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਮਨ। ਮਨ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਬੰਦ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ? ਪਤਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਮਨ ਭੱਜਦਾ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ, ਮਨ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਬੰਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ। ਅਸੀਂ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਭੱਜ ਰਿਹਾ। ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਮਨ ਉੱਪਰ ਨੂੰ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਉੱਪਰ ਨੂੰ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ, ਮਨ ਥੱਲੇ ਨੂੰ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਥੱਲੇ ਨੂੰ ਆ ਗਿਆ।
ਜੁੜਦੇ ਆ ਫਿਰ ਦੂਆ ਕੋਈ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਨਾਲ ਟੁੱਟਦੇ ਆ।
ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਹੈ, ਅਸੀਂ ਜੀਣਾ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਮੁਤਾਬਕ ਹੈ। ਮਨ ਨੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਜਾਣ ਦਿਓ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦੇਖ ਲਓ, ਭੱਜ ਰਿਹਾ ਕੋਈ ਫਰਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੈਂਦਾ। ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜਿਆ, ਗੱਲ ਉਸ ਦੀ ਹੈ। ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਜੁੜਿਆ, ਮਨ ਸਮਝਾਉਣ ਕਾਰਨ ਇਹ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਮਨ ਸਮਝਾਉਣ ਕਾਰਨ ਹੈ। ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ ਸਮਝਾਈਦਾ, ਇਹ ਮਨ ਪਿਆਰਿਆ, ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਤੇ ਕਦੇ ਕਦੇ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਮੂਰਖ, ਤੈਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ। ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ? ਉਹਦੇ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਪਰ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ, ਇਹ ਜਰਨੀ ਜੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਣਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਜੁੜੇ ਕਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆ, ਸੋਰਸ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਡਾ। ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਅੱਜ ਐਂਡ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਤੇ ਅਗਲੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੌੜੀ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਕੰਪਲੀਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ। ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
Thank you so much.